Whispers of Fernandez creep, Lansing goes that's complete. Dirty noise loud and clear, big God conquers fear. Feels like the end is near, as England sheds another tear. Time is right, lift the global trophy high. Underneath the ring of lights, feel formations unify. World united till we die. Get on 25.
So we are here at week 3 of this tournament here with the African Preliminary League. Welcome back, everyone, to another week, another Preliminary League, and welcome back to the Global Trophy 2025. I'm Masterath, and I'm joined alongside
Sam Elliott, 64, and yes, it is our third Preliminary League. Of course, last week we saw former Asian champions Indonesia walk away with the Asian Preliminary League title. Let's find out who is competing this week for the African Preliminary League. Of course, not qualifying for the Global Trophy. This is just to get into the African section to then have a chance of qualification.
certainly does on that. So we have already removed 16 teams from our 160. We need to remove another 16 before the qualifiers actually begins. So let's remove another 6 of them here in our third of 4 preliminary leagues. So our dud team, over the last couple of years, our dud team has been, well, personally, one of our favourite teams. The Big R of Rwanda. But, as we mentioned in our intro this year, they have barely, after a really good start to the World Cup qualifiers, the African World Cup qualifiers, they have gone above the Gambia, who I believe actually did quite well a couple of...
Yeah, I think they made it to the Global Trophy finals, I think, didn't they, Gambia?
They did. I think they did that in 2023.
Which is very, very recent when you consider it, isn't it?
If they had done that in 2024 instead, they wouldn't be done, and Rwanda would still be the dud.
Well, they would, but no, the Gambia are the duds. On one side, it's very exciting for us because obviously we get to see Rwanda actually compete. But by the way, they're next in the list. One thing we get to see Rwanda compete on the plus side. On the negative side, we don't get to see the flag 15 times.
Yeah, we only get to see it once, unfortunately.
By the way, Chris, okay, obviously, over the last sort of 18 months in the UK, obviously, when the Conservatives were in charge, there was a whole thing about, trying to send illegal immigrants to Rwanda via plane, right?
Yeah.
Rwanda's been popping up a lot recently because apparently, we're recording this in August 2024, by the way, there is a rumour going around that Rwanda may be hosting a Formula 1 Grand Prix within the next couple of years.
Oh, gee, okay.
And it's the first African race that would have been held there since, Kyle Lamy in the early 90s.
Yeah,
I
was about to say that there aren't any African Grand Prix.
Not currently.
In the current sort of schedule, in the current season schedule, is there?
No. So there you go. So that is the current rumour anyway, that we might end up with a Rwandan Grand Prix.
Fair enough indeed. So we move from the Big R to the one of 2 Zs. It's Zimbabwe.
Yeah, Zimbabwe, of course. They've been recent qualifiers from the African section, I think, in the last couple of years as well. They've been competitive over the last few years, and we'll be interested to see how they get on in this preliminary league.
Yeah, they certainly are. I think they've qualified maybe twice since it's been on YouTube into the Global Trophy finals, but it's very close between them. It's very close between a lot of the teams. Sort of a lot of the teams from 110 to 130 are from Africa. So it's very close between those to see who gets through and who doesn't, really, when it comes to them. Speaking of them, next up is the Central African Republic.
Yeah, of course. They tend to be kind of mid-table in this, don't they? In the preliminary league, they tend to be kind of knocking on the door of qualification, but never quite making it. I think they've been dud maybe as well, once or twice. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head.
Were they dud? No, I'm thinking of someone else. Yeah. I'm thinking something else when it comes to the Central African Republic. Anyway, yeah, next up we have Malawi.
Yeah, Malawi, one of the M's, like, it's kind of sounds similar to Mali as well, of course, but no, Malawi, again, an okay team, let's say that much.
Next up, speaking of a country that sounds very similar to another country, I don't know why I pronounce it Niger, I don't know, but yeah, it's Niger.
It's Niger.
It's Niger if you remember the original Command and Conquer, I guess.
Yeah, Niger, of course, yeah, next door neighbours to Nigeria, I believe, as well.
Oh, but they didn't have an ear, I guess.
No,
They're
no
deaf.
Yeah, Vincent van Gogh of countries.
God, imagine if the people of Niger spoke Dutch. That would just put it all together. Next up, speaking of, we were mentioning about Zimbabwe earlier and about how they have competed in a couple of global trophy finals recently. So's this team, Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Sierra Leone have qualified in recent global trophies gone past, and they'll be hoping to do so once again here.
And next up, it is Sudan.
Or South Sudan, as they're now known, aren't they?
So I will say this because I think we have seen this in the comments a couple of times. Sudan and South Sudan are separate.
Mm-hmm.
And South Sudan are much lower in the rankings than Sudan. So this entire time, this has actually just been Sudan.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's actually Sudan still.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Apologies,
comments.
I think Ross corrected us in the comments a couple of years ago, but I completely forgot about it.
Well, there you go. So there you go. Actual Sudan, folks. There you go. We've got them back.
Yep. Next up, again, another team that has made it to a couple of global trophy finals in the past. It's Togo.
Yeah, Togo have been qualifiers in recent years, haven't they? Fair play to them as well for doing so. But their FIFA rankings these days, obviously, they didn't have Emmanuel Adebayor these days, do they? So I suppose that's probably why they've dropped down the rankings.
Yeah, I think the last time, I'm pretty certain it was the 2020 tournament, I think was the last time. I think they got France in round 1.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
And next up, it is former African champions, the Shockers. It's Comoros.
Yeah, of course. Comoros, the first ever pre-qualifier to go from a pre-qualification team to continental champion. Of course, we need to find a different team for them.
Yep, so conveniently, the team is the one that's lowest them in the rankings, that's not in the tournament. And again, they've got them again. It's Estonia. They had them last year as well, I believe.
Was it Estonia as well? Because I know they had Lithuania and Latvia, didn't they, back to back? And obviously Lithuania was the team that won the African section. In 2023.
Yeah, I think in 2024 they had Estonia, if I remember correctly.
That was it. Yeah, 2022 was Lithuania, 2023 was Latvia, but they qualified again, and then 2024 they had Estonia. So okay, we'll see how they get on.
Next up, it is regular flavored Congo.
Just the standard Congo.
Congo DR is a much better side.
They really are. They've got players I've heard of.
Yeah. And next up, it is Libya.
Yeah, of course, Libya in this game, of course, have their old flag, which is, I believe it's just green, isn't it?
Big green. Yeah, we got
big
the
green.
The last couple of years when we had Rwanda as a dud, we had the greatest battle of flags of all time. We had the Big R versus Big Green. It's great. Next up, we have one of our 3 Guineas here. The only Guinea that's in this preliminary league. The other 2 are, they're good enough to be in the main competition just as normal. It's Guinea-Bissau. Yeah,
Guinea-Bissau. Again, they tend to kind of float around that mid-table area. So, yeah, we'll have to see how they get on.
Yep. And next up, we have... come to Tanzania. Come to Tanzania. Canterasol git. Tanzania.
Tanzania, yeah. Again, one of those kind of countries. I think they've also done okay in recent years. Not amazing, of course, but like, one of those teams that are kind of in and around that kind of qualification bracket.
And next up, come to Mauritania. Come to Mauritania.
Of course, Mauritania. which is the location of the penultimate episode of the Grand Tour.
Indeed, in Mauritania. And last but not least, the highest ranked team in this preliminary league. Come to Kenya, come to Kenya.
Yeah,
it's Kenya, but yeah, Kenya's going to do well here, I think.
They tend to win this preliminary league, don't they? They tend to, well, if they're in it, they tend to qualify, certainly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing them towards the top end of this bracket.
Yeah, I'd even go out on a limb here, and I think they're the favourites.
Favourites and probably will go unbeaten.
Yeah. But we'll see if any of the others can snip them in their stride there. We have Congo versus the Central African Republic up first.
Yep, a way to start things off then. The two, first alphabetical teams in this league.
Well, it's a very good start for Congo there. 1-0.
Excuse me. Sorry, I've just decided to have a coughing fit. And then Estonia or Comoros are going to get their campaign underway with a 3-0 win over the Gambia.
Oh crap! I forgot about Comoros. No, Comoros are the favourites, but Kenya are a good second.
Do you reckon Estonia are the favourites?
Comoros. Oh, of course.
There he is. Oh.
First. Why is it always the first? I feel like do you know what I think it is? I feel like that it is whenever I load up the game. Your first referee is always going to be RJ Fernandez. I think that's why he shows up so often.
Maybe it is.
Because I'm pretty certain. Because RJ Fernandez shows up the most out of any referee.
True. He does appear a lot, doesn't he?
He does. But hey, he's one of our favourites, I think, at this point. The bloody rogue.
I will say as well, by the way, like there is a obviously the Gambia are our dud team. I will say one of their footballers have actually recently joined Brighton. Yakumba Minte, the winger. He's very good. So maybe we'll see the Gambia shoot up the rankings over the next few years with some talent like him.
You never know on that one. They could probably at least go up a couple of spots, which would put them, well ahead of Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Central African Republic, because they're pretty much close to each other.
Yep.
Next up, it's Guinea-Bissau, and they're taking on Libya next.
Yeah, the Big Green taking on the only Guinea in this section of the competition.
One of the Guinea triplets. Win for Libya, 2-0. They're off to a good start.
Yeah, good start for Libya there. We'll put them second for now. Obviously, Comoros top after a bye win.
Niger is next up. They will take on Malawi in our fourth match of our first fixture. And it's our first draw. It's 2-2.
Yeah, score draw. Desmond for Niger and Malawi. Sierra Leone, one of the favourites to get out of this competition, taking on... it's going to be beautiful to see Rwanda back in the competition.
Big R back in the competition for the first time in a couple of years. And they've kicked off with a draw against one of the favourites. That's a good start for Rwanda there.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy with that. They'll take the point on the board, certainly. Togo taking on Sudan. Togo probably one of the favourites to get out of this league, has to be said.
Yep, certainly. Both teams right next to each other in the FIFA rankings. Togo ranked 120, Sudan ranked 121. And it is a win for Togo, 3-1. It's not enough to get them to first, but it puts them in a solid second.
Yep, good start for Togo. Win on the board. Zimbabwe take on Tanzania for the penultimate match of game week 1.
So does Zimbabwe expect to be the favourites here as well? Yep, 4-0. That's going to put them first.
It does indeed put them top. And then Mauritania will take on Kenya for, an opportunity to go top of the pops as well. The last game of game week 1.
Win for Kenya, 2-0. I was expecting a bit more than that from Kenya, but I guess they'll take it. Good start.
Yep. Yeah, slow start, but a good start nonetheless.
Good start nonetheless. Comoros now, being represented by Estonia, is going to take on the Central African Republic.
Yep, I'd say probably the favourites here are Estonia. Central African Republic, again, they tend to do okay, but not amazingly in this section.
Yep, lost their first match 1-0. Estonia won theirs by 3-0. That's better. That's 5-0. Big win for Estonia there.
Yeah, Estonia go top of the table for now. Congo are going to get their bye win and go joint top with a 3-0 win as they take on Gambia, the dud team.
Certainly. So, at the moment, it's sort of rounding out what you'd expect. I think that maybe like the biggest shock of that first of that first fixture. Wow, I don't believe it.
He's back to bloody hell. Back to back, RJ.
Has that ever happened in the Global Trophy? Has a referee ever refereed back-to-back dud matches? I don't think it has.
It's hard to say, really, isn't it? It's hard to say.
I'm sure we'd have noticed that. We'd have said, "Oh, what's he doing here again? He must love this dud team." I swear that has never happened before.
maybe. History has. I tell you what, history has been made in the 2025 Global Trophy. That's all I'm going to say, right? It's at this point.
Oh yeah.
You've got to say that. This is one of the most historical trophies we've ever done on YouTube.
Biggest surprise of the tournament so far.
Back to back RJ.
Back to back RJ. Hey, we may get three-peat RJ. That might happen.
Good do.
Guinea-Bissau next will take on Malawi. Malawi, who started off with a draw against Niger. Guinea-Bissau losing 2-0 in their first match.
Yeah, they lost to Libya, I believe it was, in their first game.
Yes, it was. Malawi, big win for them there. That moves them to third on 4 points with a 1-0 win.
Yep, good result. Libya take on Niger. A win in the first game for Libya. 2-0 winners over Guinea-Bissau. Niger, of course, drawing 2 apiece.
Yep, with Malawi. It's a win for Libya, 4-0. They're off to a really good start, Libya.
Yep, 6 points on the board. No goals against, 6 goals scored as well. Rwanda, of course, they got a decent start as well. Drawing with Sierra Leone. They take on Sudan, who lost their first game 3-1.
Yep, Rwanda looking to build on that 0-0 draw against one of the favourites here. Nope, it is Sudan who will get the win 3-0, sending Rwanda to 10th for the moment.
That's the first goals conceded by Rwanda. And, of course, it's a 3-0 loss. You know, they used to lose 3-0 at this point, aren't they?
Of course it is, right? Of course it is.
Oh dear.
Togo next up. They won their first match 3-1. They will take on Sierra Leone, who did draw their first match in a goalless tie with Rwanda in their first fixture.
Yeah, I'd probably say Togo are the favourites here.
It is Sierra Leone, 1-0. They move up to 5th. Much better rebound.
Yeah, good result from Sierra Leone. They get their first goal in the competition as well.
Mauritania are now next. They lost 2-0 in their opening match. They will take on Zimbabwe, who won 4-0 in their opening match.
Yes, they did. Good opportunity here for Zimbabwe to stretch their legs even more.
5-1. That's a big result, and Zimbabwe going to move back to top for the moment.
Yep, on goals 4 there. They've got one more goal for than Comoros, who are currently second.
Certainly do on that one. Next up, it is Kenya versus Tanzania.
Yep, this is the final game of Game Week 2.
Kenya, who won in their first match. Tanzania lost in theirs. And that's another loss for Tanzania and another win for Kenya. Kenya move up to 5th. We have 5 teams on 6 so far after 2.
There we go then. So,
but the Central African Republic, they are about to get their first.
Is it going to be RJ? Is it going to be RJ?
That's the question.
The tension's killing me.
This is you. Oh. Vinny!
Oh, it's Vinny!
Big Vinny! Yes! Vinny
There he
beats
is.
up RJ Fernandez.
For the Central African Republic to get their first 3 points on the board. Of course, Gambia now it means they're on -9 goal difference, so they can still be overtaken. I believe, is it Mauritania who are above them? Have got -6, so a big loss for them could mean that they end up in trouble. But yeah, there we have it. Central African Republic off the mark.
Certainly, with a 3-0 win, maybe they can build on the dud result. Who knows? But yeah, it again. Don't really know when the best time it will be to get the dud, but they've essentially got it there, and they're moving up to 10th for the moment.
Yep, 3 points on the board. Next up is Congo in 4th, 2 wins, 4 goals, no conceded against Estonia. 2 wins, 8 goals, no conceded. But these two both, of course, have played the dud team.
Yep, both teams yet to drop a point as of yet. That will change here. And it's changed with Estonia with another 3-0 win there. So Comoros going well. Congo suffer their first defeat.
Yep, Comoros looking very, very good in Estonia's hands here. They are, a very competent start from them.
Guinea-Bissau are next up, who are one of the 3 teams who could go below the dud, the Gambia. They will take on Niger, who's literally just 1 point ahead of them. But it is a win for Guinea-Bissau, so good result for them. Niger moved down to 13th. 1 point so far out of a possible 9.
Not a great start for Niger, really, is it?
Certainly isn't. And, well, we got a bit of a clash at the top here. 2 more undefeated teams going against each other. Malawi and Libya. Malawi, of course, 4 points to their name. Libya's got 6, though.
Yeah, win here for Libya could put them top with a big win. Malawi couldn't go top, but could go second with a win.
Certainly could. Win for Libya, 4-0. They're still yet to let in a goal. They're sort of matching, or close to matching Estonia right now. Match for match.
Going stride for stride with the leaders Estonia representing Comoros. So good for Libya. Rwanda and Togo next. Rwanda in 12th, Togo 9th.
It's a win for Togo, 2-1. I was expecting a bit more from Togo there.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's a decent enough start, isn't it?
Certainly is, though. They're in that sort of top 7, which is certainly where you want to be, so good for them. There's still some chances for a couple of teams to overtake them, though. For example, these two. Sudan and Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, one of the only 5 teams undefeated so far. Can Sudan change that? No, they can't. Sierra Leone moves up to 3rd with their 2-1 win.
Yep, 2 wins on the board for Sierra Leone. Looking pretty good at the top, but not many goals scored. They've only scored 3 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, they've been able to make the most of them. I'd say that much on their low amount of goals, but
very efficient.
Very efficient, but yeah, that lack of goals could certainly come back to bite them. Will it come back to bite Kenya, who take on Zimbabwe? 2 more unbeaten teams.
Yeah, a win here for Zimbabwe of more than 3 puts them top. Kenya need lots of goals to go top, don't they?
Certainly do. They'll need 8. It's a draw between the 2. Very interesting.
So no perfect run to the title for Kenya then.
Certainly isn't. Estonia and Libya are the only ones who can do the perfect run now. Mauritania will take on Tanzania in, well, a match that both teams certainly need to do well in.
Yeah, if either team loses by 3, then they go below the dirt. This is a potentially scary game.
Certainly could. Oh!
Wow.
4-1. Mauritania moved to 11th. Tanzania down in 15th right now.
And has spared the blushes of going bottom below the dirt on the virtue of the fact that they've scored a goal.
Certainly on that one, in that match. Central African Republic currently in 12th. Will take on Mauritania, who are currently in 11th after that victory.
It's Guinea-Bissau.
Oh, sorry,
Mauritania.
Guinea-Bissau, yeah. So Guinea-Bissau in 10th.
Yeah. Of course, Central African Republic have got a win to their name, but it was only against the Dud team, and they're the only goals that they've scored so far.
Certainly is. Is it a bit telling? Might be. 2-1 Guinea-Bissau. They will move up to 8th.
Yeah, good result for Guinea-Bissau there. Central African Republic struggling to get going, really, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not going great for them, and it's probably going to start getting worse as fixture 4 goes through in bloom. Congo currently in 7th place. They're in that 7th place bubble so far. They will take on Libya, who are flying high in joint first, only missing out on the true first place, really, by 1 goal.
Yep, a win here for Libya. I think you can kind of say they're looking pretty good to qualify, aren't they? Because they're already going to be 6 points clear of 8th place.
They certainly would, unless a potential Bosnia bottle happens, which it could do. That's another big win for Libya there. They'll take that. 4-0, yet to let in a goal. Perfect record so far.
Can Estonia keep pace? They've got Malawi next to her in 9th. An Estonian win of more than 3 puts them back to the top of the table.
Could be a great chase for the title here. What?
Wow!
Or not! 9-0 Estonia. That puts them well ahead when it comes to goals.
Yeah, that could be crucial later on. Of course, they've got a perfect 4-0 record currently. It means that, that's the biggest result of this qualifiers so far, preliminary league.
Niger are about to move into 9th place here with their 3-0. Mostly because Malawi lost that match so badly.
Yeah, Malawi's goal difference has taken an absolute pasting, and they will be ruining themselves later. Who's Darren Morgan? Who's that?
I don't know. I think Vinny beat Fernandez up so much we needed some sort of like substitute replacement.
Right. I don't think I've ever seen Morgan before.
I think we have a couple of times, but I don't just. I think just with a lot of these names, they've been
It's
around.
and also, like D Morgan is just so unmemorable. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, we just
he's
haven't
got no-
really noticed them really because they don't have cool names like Len Zingara. They don't show up all the time like RJ Fernandez. They're not named after things or people like Jack Daniels or Vinnie Jones.
He's got no aura.
Yeah, and he's not a potential prick like Screech.
Steve Screech.
Yeah. Which, by the way, please, can we still get a mod of this so we can add in, Comoros and New Caledonia? If we do that, we'll stop saying a potential prick to your name. Next up, it is Rwanda, who. Oh yeah, it's not looking great for them at the moment, is it? 14th so far. Zimbabwe is looking better for them. They're currently lying third and do need a win to keep chase with the front runners here.
Yeah, they really do. Of course, a win here would lift them 4 points clear of 8th place as things stand.
Certainly would. That is a win for Zimbabwe, 4-0, and Rwanda stay in 14th just because Tanzania have done worse, but Tanzania...
Oh dear.
Could they spring a shock here against Sierra Leone? One of 5 teams undefeated so far.
A Sierra Leone win here could put Tanzania bottom if it's a big win.
Tanzania get the win over Sierra Leone.
Wow, that has shocked me. Tanzania with the dub puts Rwanda. Oh dear, that's very sad, isn't it? It's very sad.
Sad, but a bit expected.
True.
To be honest, they are just above the Gambia in the rankings after all. But you never know, they may bounce back. Remember Suriname's run last year in the preliminaries.
It's true.
So it could happen. Mauritania, currently in 12th place, takes on, well, their fellow chasing rival Sudan in 11th.
Yeah, well, win is kind of needed for either of these two, really, to kind of keep up with the qualifying pack. There will be a little bit of a gap if neither of the two win.
Yep, a gap that is certainly assailable, but you don't want to fall too far behind, though, even at the early stages. It's a draw between the two. That's not great for either, but it could certainly give Togo or Kenya a chance to start moving into that chasing pack.
Yeah, it does lift Sudan up to 9th place because of their, well, so far, pretty okay goal difference. It's at 0. But, yeah, Kenya and Togo, both... Well, Kenya's undefeated. Togo has 1 loss to their name. Let's see how it goes.
It's a draw between the two. So, yeah, I think we've got maybe our 3 front runners.
Yeah, Kenya slipped back. They're 4 points behind the 2 leaders, Libya and Estonia. That's a concerning gap for them to kind of surmount, especially with Libya, who are joint top, have a match against the lowly Central African Republic.
Yeah, could be another bloodbath coming up right here, right now. No, it's not. It's a 1-0 win, but Libya will keep the winning streak going. Still perfect.
Yeah, 100% record for Libya. They will be happy with that. Guinea-Bissau in 7th, take on Congo in 8th. 2 teams on 6 points.
Big on the bubble match. This could be certainly a valuable 6-pointer for either team. Could determine the tide of their run in this preliminary league. And it's Congo who takes it. Up into 4th they go with a 2-1 win.
Guinea-Bissau, of course, in 8th place now. They've kind of dropped back a little bit. Niger take on Estonia, the current joint... Well, were joint leaders, but of course an Estonian win here puts them back to the top.
Certainly does. 3-1. Estonia finally let in a goal.
Yep, so no more clean sheets for them, but they are still top on goal difference. Look at that.
Certainly doing. Malawi, after a really bad match against Comoros in the last fixture, are going to be able to get 3 points in this one.
Yeah.
Is that the shot in the arm they need?
I think so. I mean, let's face it, they just lost their last match 9-0. So I think, they'll be happy with, a win on the board after that. I think, they were kind of struggling a little bit, so I think they'll be happy to just get some points back on the board. And I think it does lift them back into the top 8.
Certainly does, but I'm concerned about that goal difference. That goal difference could certainly hurt them later.
Yeah, it could cost them, couldn't it? Really, it's not great, to lose so heavily. That is, by a wide margin, is the heaviest loss so far in this preliminary league, isn't it? So we'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely is. I know it could be tough for them trying to claim that back. It's -9, which is Actually, the lowest of any of the teams.
Other than the dead team. Wow, that's crazy.
Okay, Rwanda and Tanzania. Big chance for both teams here.
Yeah, a win for Tanzania lifts them up into the dizzying heights, potentially, of 9th if it's a big win.
Yep, Rwanda with a big win will put themselves 10th. At least for the moment. Obviously, Tanzania just got through their amazing victory that they had.
Over Sierra Leone, yeah.
Over Sierra Leone, where Rwanda got a draw over Sierra Leone. And it's a draw between these two.
That's not good for either of them, really, is it?
No.
Let's face it.
Definitely not. Zimbabwe, who currently line 3rd here, they will take on, well, Sierra Leone, who, yeah, it seems like they're prone to a bit of an upset.
They are, and of course, they've still only scored 4 goals and let in 3, so they're averaging only just like a 1-0 victory per game. But it's only just, isn't it? Really, they're very mid.
Yeah, well, they are mid-table so far. They are probably going to stay mid-table. That's a win for Zimbabwe. Keeps the pressure on the top 2.
Yeah, they're in the chasing pack still, aren't they? They're not, letting them go. They're still undefeated. Good result for Zimbabwe there.
Sudan currently in 4th. I've done it again, haven't I? In 4th place with 10.
In 10th place with 4.
Yep, and in 8th place with 5 is Kenya. I did the exact same thing last year. No.
Well, Kenyan win could put them as high as 4th with on 11 points. A win here for Sudan will give Kenya a bit of a bloody nose, and it will give them their first defeat.
Certainly would. Kenya is still one of 4 teams who are unbeaten so far. It is a win for Sudan. Kenya lose.
They do lose, though. They won't go undefeated, and they are in 5th place. They are not having the tournament that we expected them to have. And let's say that much.
And Togo could leapfrog them here if they can beat Mauritania.
Yeah, Togo could go as high as 4th here with a win. Mauritania, a win for them, puts them into that kind of gaggle of teams on 7 points.
Certainly does. It's a win for Togo, 1-0. They do not slip on the banana skin and move into 4th.
Good result for Togo. So we are a third of the way through the league as things stand. Sierra Leone would be the dud team. And our winners would be Estonia, running away with things at the moment at the top.
At the moment. Central African Republic currently in 14th. Will take on Malawi, who currently lie in 9th.
I tell you what, a Malawi win here puts the cat amongst the pigeons for everyone, doesn't it, really? Because it will put them on 10 points and it will keep all the pressure on those teams above them.
And that's going to be very much needed for Malawi, because I think they just need to keep getting points, because that goal difference. I agree. Least at the moment. Oh, that's bad. That's a win for Central African Republic, 1-0 against Malawi.
And it's their first win that wasn't the dud team, so well done, Central African Republic. You have won against Malawi, and it's going to cost Malawi in the long run, that is, because they're now at minus 10 goal difference, and they remain 9th.
Yeah, not great. Just wish Central African Republic you'd scored another goal, you sods. Congo will take on Niger next. Congo, a respectable 5th for them so far. Niger, 13th. That's about right for them.
Yeah, Congo, a winner here, could put them as high as 4th for now.
Well, it's a 1-0 win. I think they'll take it. They just need to keep getting points.
Yeah, so they're 5 points clear of that 8th place. So far, so good for Congo.
Certainly. Guinea-Bissau next, currently in 10th place. They will take on the big team in Estonia here. Perfect record so far.
Yeah, well, apart from that 1 goal conceded in the last game week, but yeah, other than that, perfect from Estonia as things stand.
Yep, nothing bad going wrong. There's still nothing bad going wrong. 3-0, and that will be good for Estonia. Ooh.
It will be. Another 3 points, though, for Libya, because they get their dud team match against the Gambia.
Also, another 3 goals for Libya, so they have equaled.
I know, keeping pace with Estonia, which is excellent to see. We do like, as much as we like, seeing the best teams qualify from these, we do like to see a bit of, a challenge. And we are seeing that from Libya here, which is very exciting.
So I just thought I'd stay on this screen a little bit, just so everyone can see Libya's old flag.
Right. It's beautiful, isn't it? It is beautiful.
It's a great flag.
I'm glad you did wait on it, because I couldn't actually see it, because I'm getting a lot of lag on my end.
Oh, are you? Oh.
I am. I've got the I've got the little exclamation mark on Discord, so hopefully you can still hear me okay.
Yeah, all's good. I mean, it could be the case we could God, this must remind you of like 2019 global trophies, right?
Oh man, I mean, I've got a wired connection. I should have good connection.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
I know.
I've got 200 meg download speeds.
I know. Maybe after this preliminary, I'll stop sharing,
Stop
and
scaring.
reshare.
Stop scaring me, Chris. Ah!
That's enough to scare anybody.
Oh dear.
Well, Rwanda, do you know what will scare everybody? If Rwanda don't start winning, they got Mauritania currently in 12th place.
They do indeed. They need to get a wriggle on, don't they? Really?
They certainly do, or they may end up with the wooden spoon, and that would just be sad.
Wouldn't it?
It's gonna be sad.
Oh, it's a sad day. It's a sad day for Rwanda.
It's a sad global trophy episode.
Yeah,
Rwanda haven't played the dud yet, though, so there's that.
but neither have Tanzania
Of Niger?
or Niger.
Oh.
No, they haven't.
Okay.
It's not looking good for Rwanda.
Maybe one of them might lose.
Maybe.
To the dud. Kenya will take on Sierra Leone next. Kenya, to be honest, subpar from Kenya so far. Subpar from both these teams.
I expected better from Kenya. Definitely from Kenya. Sierra Leone, they've really struggled just to score goals.
They certainly have. They've got that one there, though. That's a shocker, I think.
I agree. Kenya down in 7th now, and Sudan against Zimbabwe. Okay, it's a big match here for Zimbabwe to keep pace with the leaders, but if Sudan can get a win, it would put Kenya in the dud spot as things stand.
A draw will also do that. No, Zimbabwe does win and stays in that chasing pack. 2 behind.
But they are 9 points clear of 8th place. They will be very happy with that, Zimbabwe. And to finish off game week 6, Togo and Tanzania. Togo, a win for them, puts them 4th.
Certainly does, and puts them, in a very good position. Tanzania need to wake up. Well, it's a draw. I think Tanzania will certainly take that. Togo, less so.
Well, you wanted Tanzania to wake up. I think, I'd say they're snoozing now rather than fully awake.
Well, they're sort of sleepwalking or something.
Yeah, they're kind of, when you wake up and your alarm goes off, and then you press your alarm off, but you kind of like lie there for a little bit because you're not quite ready to stand up and get on with your day, but you also you can't fall back asleep. They're kind of like that.
I stopped doing that recently because I have a.
Did you fall back asleep?
Yeah, I have a horrible obsession with just like trying to keep my eyes open. My eyes like go, limp for one millisecond, and then I'm asleep again. It's horrible.
Crazy.
Next up, Niger, currently in 14th, versus the Central African Republic, who've got their way into 11th now at the moment.
Yep, they've got a couple of wins on the board. A win for Central African Republic puts them into 7th place as things stand, which is remarkable when you consider how poorly they started.
Yeah, a big win for Niger will put them 8th as well. It is a win for Central African Republic. They're in 7th place. How's that happen?
And it pushes Kenya down to 8th. Wow.
Congo versus Malawi could do the same thing here if they can beat Congo. Congo wanting to keep the wins going. They've been quite steady so far.
Yeah, Congo will be happy with their progress. I'm certain of that. A win for them keeps them in 4th for the game week, doesn't it?
It certainly does. That'll do it. That'll do it. It's the best they can do. Oh, we got the battle now. We got the Clash of the Titans.
Oh, go on. Who is it? Oh, it's the top 2. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's Libya versus Estonia. So Libya versus Comoros. One perfect record's about to go, if not both of them.
Yeah, someone's O has got to go. Who is it going to be?
It's Estonia's Libya! Up into the 1st place!
The Big Green go top of the preliminary league with a 1-0 win. Still no goals conceded in 7 games.
It's a great defensive performance here from Libya. They move 3 ahead, and this could push Zimbabwe up into 2nd if they can win, but Guinea-Bissau about to
go into 7th place, I think, aren't they? Or joint with Central African Republic. They're going to push Kenya out of the qualification zone.
Yeah, they're actually going to move into 8th because of alphabetical order.
That's rough, isn't it? That is rough.
They are going to be in 8th because I think they've got like 8 goals for, 10 goals
10
against.
Yeah,
same
they're both going to
points.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
going to go to alphabetical order. We've never had a qualification or an elimination due to alphabetical order yet, have we?
I don't think so. There's absolutely, there's no precedent for it to happen so far, but I tell you what, if it does happen, then
that's good. That'll be rough.
It really would be. Imagine missing out on the name of your country. That would be brutal, wouldn't it?
No wonder Arsenal's called Arsenal. And Bournemouth.
AFC Bournemouth. AFC Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Yeah. Now most teams just go Bournemouth AFC, but no, it's like no, ours at the start.
I reckon. Let's make it a little bit fairer, right? Because obviously we have video footage of all of these. If that ever did happen, I reckon we go back to head and who won their game.
And if it's a draw,
what do you reckon? Fucking
alphabetical order.
Yeah, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Like, I think we go back to head. If you can measure head to head, then I say we do so.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll pop it on like a, I don't know, like a placard saying this team qualifies or something like that. God, what if we get a 3-way tie? That's gonna be bollocks.
Yeah, we'll get to that stage when we get to that stage.
Welcome to the Global Trophy 2046. Kenya versus Rwanda. Can Rwanda please get off the mark? But then again, Kenya really needs to start making a move.
Yeah, a Kenyan win here just push them back into kind of the safety zone. But at the moment, Rwanda, they're pretty hopeless. So I'm expecting a Kenyan win here.
Yep, that'll do it. 3-0, and Kenya move into 5th place.
Only for now, though, because they are, still susceptible to being overtaken by teams like Sierra Leone, who have got Mauritania next.
A Mauritania win here could certainly do wonders for them.
Yeah, it would lift them at least into 8th for now.
Certainly winning with a minus goal difference. They need all the points they can get. It is Sierra Leone. They've avoided the banana skin this time, but another 1-0 win for Sierra Leone.
I think they'll take it, though. They'll be happy with that. As much as they're not scoring goals, they're not really conceding, abysmal amounts either. So that's a good effort from them.
Sierra Leone is the football team that Americans think every football match is based off of.
Yeah, 1-0, 1-0.
And
they're Tony
ties.
Pulis incarnate. Yep.
Tanzania, they are next up. They all take on Sudan. Sudan currently in 10th, outside that bubble. They certainly could do with a win here. Tanzania currently in 5th.
Yep, a win for Sudan pushes them back into 8th place.
So it does, and most importantly, only a couple of points behind teams like Kenya and Sierra Leone and Togo. It's another win for Tanzania!
Where's this come from Tanzania? They move up into 10th place on 8 points.
Certainly do. Zimbabwe and Togo go against each other next. Togo have slipped into 7th somehow.
Yeah, Zimbabwe, a win here pushes them into 2nd place above Estonia, of course, lost their perfect record against Libya. A Togo win, of course, would mean that there is only one undefeated team left come the halfway point.
Certainly would. It's a win for Zimbabwe. They move into 2nd place to challenge Libya and Estonia.
Yep, good result for Zimbabwe, Rwanda, and the Central African Republic. Central African Republic have kind of snuck into 8th place here, and a win could, with a big win, lift them as high as 6th.
Certainly could on that one. It's a draw between the two. Rwanda get another draw.
Still no wins for Rwanda, but 3 draws. They'll take that. Central African Republic will be kicking themselves.
Because it allows every team below them to start making some ground on that top 8. Sierra Leone and Congo, 2 of the teams that aren't doing that.
Now, Congo win would mean they are... a win for either of them would mean that they finish 4th at the end of the game week.
It's a draw between the two. 6 goals in 8 games for Sierra Leone.
But it does mean that Congo will remain 4th. I think Sierra Leone, unless there's a big result for teams below them, will stay in the top 8.
Yes, they will stay in the top 8, yeah. The lowest they can go is 7th, I think, at the moment. Sudan, currently 11th, one of those teams that's looking to maybe break into that top 8. But they do have Estonia, who recently lost, and they're looking to bounce back with a big win here.
Yeah, of course, Estonia representing Comoros lost their first game to Libya in the last game week.
It is a win. Estonia 4-0 over Sudan.
Good response from Estonia. And Togo are going to move above Sierra Leone because they've got the dud team, the Gambia. So 3 points and a positive goal difference now for Togo of 3, which could be crucial later on.
Certainly is. 5th place, I think, at this stage is quite good, I think. And Togo, we were sort of expecting for them to be around that mark.
Yep, they're not, I don't think they're ever going to be thinking they're going to win this preliminary league, but they could escape, they could qualify, and as we've seen in the past in the Global Trophy, they could get out of the African section as well, which is something that they are able to do. They've done it a few times.
Certainly are a Togo. Yeah, I mean, they're a wild card in this preliminary league, and they're also a wild card in the African section.
They are indeed.
Be very interesting on that one. Central African Republic, it's been an interesting ride for them. I think Tanzania as well has been an interesting one.
Yeah, they're certainly the ones to watch, the kind of the movers and shakers coming from the bottom of the preliminary league to kind of where they are now in the middle. Zimbabwe and Guinea-Bissau is our next match. Guinea-Bissau in 9th. Zimbabwe, a win for them could temporarily put them top.
Certainly could. Yep, that'll do it. 2-0 win for Zimbabwe. They stay unbeaten.
They do indeed, and they go top for now. Libya in 3rd, of course, currently with a perfect 7-0-0 record, take on Tanzania, who have recovered somewhat, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, a team that you really do not want to be underestimating. Libya didn't, but they also didn't lose or let in a goal. That's another win, 2-0.
And another clean sheet for Libya. Are they going to try and do the Malaysia? Just win every game but not concede any goals?
It could happen. It certainly could happen. Mauritania are next up. They're in 11th place. They will take on Malawi, who currently lie in 13th.
They've not recovered from that big, heavy 9-0 loss, have they, Malawi?
No, they've still got a minus. They got a minus 13 goal difference now. It's just as bad as Rwanda's. It's gotten worse. It's 3-1 Mauritania, who now move to 8th place.
Yep, and they are keeping tabs with Central African Republic on 10 points. Kenya, on the final match of game week 8, have a chance to put a bit of daylight between themselves and 8th place by beating Niger.
So they do. If they win against Niger, who currently have 4 points so far, that would be a 4-point daylight, which is quite sizable.
It puts them 5th as well, which is, again, that's teams between them and the dud spot.
Certainly is. It is a win for Kenya. 2-0, they move into 5th place.
So we're over halfway through then. Our top team is Libya. Our dud team currently is Mauritania.
It is for the moment. Sierra Leone are next. They will take on the Central African Republic, who've had a decent couple of matches, but they certainly should have beaten the Big R.
They should have beaten Rwanda, absolutely. A Sierra Leone win here puts them 7 clear of 9th place, so they'll be very happy with that.
Maybe they'll score more than a goal. No, it's a draw between the two, though.
I think Central African Republic will be the happier team there.
Yeah, agreed. Congo, next up, 4th place for them. Rwanda, still at the bottom, but they could start making some moves on teams like Niger, Malawi, Sudan, possibly.
Yeah, a win for Congo will keep them 4th. Once again, that's kind of their position, really, isn't it?
Certainly is. It is a win for Congo, 3-0. And speaking of, we've gone from Congo to Togo. They will take on Estonia.
Estonia need a win on the board if they want to win this title. A Togo win puts them into 5th place.
Yeah, Estonia, who were the front runners, and now the chasing team. They'll take that, another 2-0 win for Estonia.
Indeed, good result for Estonia. Puts them back at the top for now. The Gambia will take on Sudan.
Yep, so
Sudan, of course, in 12th.
Yep, a valuable 3 points, I think, here for Sudan. It keeps their title hopes, or it keeps their hopes of making it to the Global Trophy Finals alive for a little bit longer.
Yep, for now, keeps them in, but they're going to have to hope that there's teams above them that start slipping up, because as things stand, not looking too great for them. They're a little bit off, certainly off 7th place and above. They're kind of hoping for teams above them to get into trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that top 7 stays as it is for the rest of the league.
I agree. I'm kind of inclined to agree at this point. There's a chance that teams could fall apart, but there is a big gap starting to emerge now between 7th and 8th place, and I think the top 7 looking pretty good.
Yeah, if you're in that top 7, pretty much do about as good as everyone else around you, and you should be okay. Guinea-Bissau, currently in 11th place, take on Tanzania, team on the resurgence.
Yep, two teams they need to win here, otherwise they're going to start losing ground to the teams above them.
Certainly do. Guinea-Bissau 5 points behind 7th place Togo. Tanzania 6 points behind Togo. And it's another win for Tanzania.
2-3, good game for the neutral that would have been, but a win for Tanzania nonetheless.
Certainly is. And now we got another. We got a battle of the two undefeated teams, Libya and Zimbabwe next up.
The winner of this game goes top. The loser of this game doesn't. And then if it's a draw, then Libya will obviously lose their 100% record.
Certainly will. It is a win for Zimbabwe. Libya, they did well, didn't they? They did well.
Yep, but there goes the undefeated record. Zimbabwe are the last team undefeated and currently top of the preliminary league on 25 points.
Certainly, they're on the roll now. Kenya, not doing great, but, with what we were expecting for them to do, but they are currently in 6th place. Another win here versus Malawi, a team who, apart from Rwanda and the dud, have the lowest goal difference in the league.
Yeah, Kenya win here puts them into 5th place and crucially puts them 6 clear of 8th.
Certainly does. It is a win for Kenya. 3-1. They will take that, certainly.
And our final match of game week number 9 is Mauritania and Niger.
Mauritania could certainly put Togo and Sierra Leone under a lot of pressure here with a win.
They really could.
Yes, a 1-0 win, and that puts them 1 behind 7th, 2 behind 6th.
Yep, so they've put themselves right back into the thick of it. The cat is now amongst the pigeons. Game week 10 begins with Central African Republic in 9th and regular Sudan, in 11th. A win for either team puts them in, well, at least in 8th. A Central African Republic win could put them as high as 7th.
It is a Sudan win. They move up into 8th place for now.
3-0 win. Good result for them on the board.
It's Congo next versus Togo.
Congo win again. Keeps them 4th. They'll be happy with that.
It does. Hey, all they need to do is just keep winning. They didn't there, though. Togo 4-1 winners. They needed that.
Yeah, good result for Togo. That pushes them into 6th place and keeps them crucially 4 points ahead of Sudan in 8th. Rwanda. Oh, dear.
No.
It's not looking good for Rwanda, is it, as they take on Estonia in 2nd place?
Are we about to see a new record for this preliminary league?
We might.
No, we're not.
No.
4-0 win.
Yeah, good result there for Estonia. They go back to the top for now.
So they do. Sierra Leone next up. They will finally score more than 1 goal in a match. But it is against the duds, so don't celebrate too much.
Does it really count? Does it really count? Maybe. I don't know. I wonder what formation they play, because we will see. We will. Is it 5-3-2? If it's 5-3-2, then maybe it's I don't know.
I think we've seen Morton 3 times now since after the first time you said. Who are you?
We have seen a lot of Morton today, haven't we?
Yeah, we've seen three Morton. Fernandez has turned up twice because he got knocked out by Vinnie Jones.
Sparked him out.
Yeah, just absolutely sparked him out, and that's it. But we've had our sub-referee Morton in for 3. If it wasn't for Vinnie Jones, RJ Fernandez would have refereed 5, and he would have.
It's absolutely true. I don't doubt it for a second.
Sierra Leone don't know, Jeff.
Oh, right. Well, there you have it.
It's Chris Kamara's brother, Oscar Kamara. Or Oscar Mara, as he likes to be called. Mauritania next up in 9th place. They will take on Guinea-Bissau in 12th. Quite an important match for both sides here.
If Mauritania win this, it keeps them keeping pace with Togo, certainly, and Sierra Leone and Congo not too far ahead as well. Guinea-Bissau, a win for them. It keeps them in the hunt, but it's going to require snookers, isn't it, really?
It's certainly going to get close. It is a win for Mauritania. They move into 8th, 1 behind Kenya and Togo. And Kenya do have a tough fixture up next.
They do. It's not guaranteed them beating Libya. Of course, Libya have just lost their first game to Zimbabwe, of course.
So they do. Can Libya get back on the horse here? No, they can't. A win for Kenya.
It pushes Kenya up into 4th place. 4 points behind Libya, who've lost 2 back-to-back games. I think they'll be happy that they've got so many points on the board already, Libya. Zimbabwe can go back to the top if they can beat, when they beat Malawi, let's face it.
Well, you never know. They have gotten a win outside the dud. Yeah, it is a win, though. Zimbabwe up to 28, still unbeaten so far.
Yep, and they go back to the top of the table. Niger and Tanzania in a bit of a not a nothing match yet. If Tanzania win, maybe there's a chance they can mount a comeback, but it's looking unlikely. Niger, It's not looking great for them.
Certainly isn't. It is a win for Tanzania. They move up into 9th place.
So they are kind of keeping pace, kind of, with 5 games to go. Togo in 7th. They need a result. Central African Republic, if they don't get a result, it's looking like it's almost curtains for them.
It's going to be certainly difficult to try and bounce back from that. And Central African Republic did a really good job getting into that top 12. It's a draw. That's bad for both.
It's definitely worse for Central African Republic as they are now 6 points off of 7th place and 4 points off of 8th.
Yeah, I think Togo may be dragged in to a fight now.
I think so. Congo have the chance to kind of extend the gap to 8th place, just suddenly become 3 points for them. Sudan need a win, don't they, really?
Yep, they're no longer in 4th. They didn't finish 4th, finally.
There you go.
It's a draw between the two again.
That's not good for Congo at all.
That certainly isn't. Sudan, I don't think they'll take that, but that's good for Sierra Leone. It's good for Mauritania, and it's good for Tanzania as well.
Yeah, it gives hope to the chasing pack, certainly.
Certainly does. Well, I'm not too sure about Sierra Leone. They do have Estonia, but Estonia have lost one.
Could they lose again?
Might do. They don't. 5-0. Big win for Estonia.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, Chris. It's time.
Yes!
It's time.
Yes!
We've waited so long.
Oh, they're going to go above Niger!
Wait for it. Wait for it. Here it comes. Here it comes.
They're going to go above Niger as well.
Here it
They're in
comes.
14th. Yeah!
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Oh. Just look at it. Bask in it. Bask in the big R.
Absolutely brilliant. Frank Zappa.
Oh, it's Frank Zappa as well. Look at that. Bloody hell.
Frank Zappa debuts in this preliminary league because he wants some of that R.
Who doesn't want some of that R? You know what I'm saying?
You're telling me you don't have to tell me twice.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Exactly. I know what I'm talking about, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
We all know the big R in Rwanda stands for Riz, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Of course, yeah. I'm a millennial. I don't care.
You mean Gen Z? You're Gen Z, right?
Same thing.
No, they're different. Millennials, Gen Y.
No, I'm not Gen Z. I am Gen Y. I was born in '93.
Yeah, no, I know, but Riz is a Gen Z thing. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on quickly.
Gen Z
Kenya,
like 96, 97 sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, 96, 97, and then kind of to the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was born in '93.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm not being Gen Z. I bloody did a song about how their slang is crap. So I don't want to be essentially making it a self-diss about myself, if that's the case. Next up is Kenya. They currently lie in 4th place. They will take on Guinea-Bissau in 12th.
A Kenya win here. I don't want to say it too loudly, but I'm going to say it probably gives them qualification. I think it's going to be a lot to overhaul them.
Certainly is. After not a very good sort of start middle, they've certainly started to get the ball rolling here. Oh, that's not the greatest.
No, it's not. It kind of drags them back into trouble again, doesn't it?
Certainly does. If Mauritania can get anything out of Libya, who, well, they've lost their last 2.
They have. They're on a bit of a poor run, Libya, in the grand scheme of things. It's not a terrible run, let's face it.
This is a big chance for Mauritania. They all move 6th with a win. They do get the win!
Wow, Libya. Are
3
they in
losses
trouble?
on the trot.
It's looking a bit precarious now for Libya. They're only 6 points above 8th.
Yeah, it's not looking brilliantly. Malawi will take on Tanzania. Tanzania, could they also make a move?
Yeah, a win for them puts them only into 9th, but it does bunch that pack up again, doesn't it?
Certainly does. It is a win for Tanzania. 3-2. They move into 9th.
Yeah, and only 1 point behind 8th, 7th, 2 points behind 6th, and 3 points behind 5th placed Congo.
We end fixture 11 with Zimbabwe versus Niger. Niger will need a win to not be 15th going into fixture 12.
I think Zimbabwe are going to win this one.
Yeah, 2-0. Zimbabwe stay unbeaten. 31 points so far. They are looking brilliant. They are looking good to go for the qualifiers here. Central African Republic and Zimbabwe. Oh, well, it's doubleheader actually for Zimbabwe. So they will...
They will
they've
qualify
actually already
if they win
qualified.
this.
Yeah, they've already qualified. Well, there you go.
Well, yeah,
They have now.
Yeah.
They have now. Yeah, I think they were 13 points ahead of 8th with 4 to go.
Yes, they were. Yeah, fair. So, yeah, they don't know it, but they've confirmed it now with a win.
Certainly have, and they could very well, very shortly, or very soon, be confirming winning the title as well. Depends on how Estonia keep going. Libya are barely still in for that, but it's not looking great.
No, Tanzania, they take on Congo. I tell you what, a win for Tanzania here puts them level on points with Congo. This is an absolutely enormous game for them. Congo, after being so secure for so long, oh, are they in trouble?
They might be. No, a 1-0 win for Congo. That's better for them.
Yeah, huge results for them. And Estonia take on Mauritania next. A win for Estonia keeps the pressure on at the top. Mauritania, a win for them lifts them above Kenya into 5th place. And they've been on a good run, Mauritania, recently.
Certainly have. Estonia, big result needed for them here. It's a draw between the two. Zimbabwe have the advantage now.
Yep, and Mauritania will be the happier of the two teams. Kenya take 3 points as they get the dud team to go level on points with Libya.
Yeah, they'll move into 4th, will Kenya, so good for them, very good for them.
Yep, they've steadied the ship. Okay, they've not been as good as we hoped they would be or as good as we expected them to be. And there's Axie.
Old Axie Dent, of course.
Yep. But, you know, they've not been as good as they probably should have been. But they're still picking up the points, and that's crucial for them. They're not in any danger, or any immediate danger. And, yeah, good recovery from Kenya. So, we have only got, well, 3.5 game weeks left. Zimbabwe, of course, have already qualified. Estonia haven't quite, but are basically there. And then it's a bit of a who's who after that, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting for Libya to be right there as well, but... yeah, 3 is it 3 losses on the trot for them so far?
Yeah, three on the bounce, yeah.
Not great. Guinea-Bissau, they still have a chance. They do need to start getting some wins, though. Maybe the Big R. Maybe the Big R. It's just so generous. Always gives everyone wins.
Yeah, they did. Well, they've won 1 game, which is against the dud. They've got 3 draws as well, which isn't great. But, hey, look, Guinea-Bissau, a win for them puts them in 11th. Good for them.
Unfortunately, a loss or draw for Rwanda means they're eliminated.
It does. It does. And we'll say goodbye to the Big R for another year.
Certainly would. Rwanda win!
Unbelievable. They're still in. It's on.
Still in for now.
It's on.
The comeback's on. Just everyone lose.
I'll tell you what, though. Sierra Leone have got Libya now. A win for Libya, obviously, pretty much guarantees them qualification. In fact, it does guarantee them qualification pretty much. A Sierra Leone win. Are Libya in trouble?
They certainly could be. A draw.
Ooh.
Libya just need to keep getting those points and hanging on.
They are currently 7 points clear with 3 games to go, but Togo have got a game in hand, so it's not out of the realm's possibility for Libya to kind of fall off by the wayside. Malawi and Sudan. Sudan, a win for them kind of keeps the pressure on the teams above them. Malawi, I think we're pretty much out of it, aren't they?
They do need to win this to stay in the game.
They do. Okay.
That won't do it.
They don't.
Malawi are out.
Malawi are out, and so are Niger. It doesn't really matter what they do, but I tell you what, a Togo win as well it compresses that field right up, doesn't it?
Definitely does on that one. It's a draw.
Ooh, wow, Niger get a point.
Certainly do. Central African Republic currently in 11th, take on Tanzania in 10th. I mean, Central African Republic need a win here.
They need a win to have any hope of qualification. They can still qualify, by the way. Tanzania, a win for them a big win for them, certainly puts them as high as 6th.
Certainly couldn't. Well, they've been sort of resurgent for a bit. You'd like to see that going for them, for that to continue. It does 2-0. They move into 7th.
Good result for Tanzania there as they zip up the table. Zimbabwe. Oh, I tell you what, a misery compiler for Congo could be on the cards here because, well, if Zimbabwe win, it basically guarantees them the title as well. It does mean that Estonia need to be perfect and Zimbabwe fall apart, but Congo here, a loss for them. They're in the striking zone.
Yep, it could cause all sorts of problems. Congo needs something out of this. They don't want... It was only 1. It was scrappy, but Zimbabwe will get the win. And Congo, from being in 4th for so long, maybe in a bit of danger here.
They are certainly in trouble, that's for sure. Kenya and Estonia, the two teams we kind of expected to be towards the top, and I guess they are, but not as close as we thought. And Kenya, a win for them I think it does now give them qualification, doesn't it, if they win? Pretty much.
Yeah, it's close, I'd say. It depends on
if results go their way.
Actually, no, yeah, it would, because it'll give them at least top 7, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
If they can get a win here, which they don't. It's a win for Estonia. They stay in contention to winning the title.
But now, Mauritania, welcome to the party. They get 3 points off the Gambia to put themselves into 5th place and push Congo down.
That is what can be the great bit of the dud.
Yeah,
that if
Mauritania
getting it early puts you in a really good position to kick off with. But maybe sometimes I think it's best to get the dud at the end.
I agree. I'm with you. You know, on the run-in when it's a bit more pressure's on, and well, Mauritania, who have come from nowhere, by the way, were absolutely dead and buried.
Yep.
Suddenly find themselves potentially going through.
Yeah, Mauritania and Tanzania, those two are they're in the running now. They are certainly in the running, and Mauritania are doing everything they can to stay in that top 8. They're currently in 5th place, and yeah, they're actually going to stay in 5th place.
Amazing. Good brilliant result for Mauritania there. They are now almost there. They've got one hand on qualification. We'll have to see how the rest of the game week goes to see how close they're going to be. Sierra Leone, by the way, who have now got Guinea-Bissau, they're now in 9th. When did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, and also they've only got 12 goals, which is
12 goals in 12 games. Yeah, they're just not scoring, are they?
Yeah, Guinea-Bissau, not much better, to be honest. They're on 10. This has 0-0 written all over it.
It really does.
Never mind. It's 3-2. Sierra Leone will move Tanzania down into 8th.
Yeah, and of course Guinea-Bissau now eliminated. They cannot catch Tanzania.
They certainly cannot. It also eliminates the Central African Republic as well. Does it eliminate Rwanda? Yes, it does. Yeah, Rwanda's out, unfortunately.
That is a shame. But they've got Libya anyway, so, you know, who knows?
Well, you never know. Yeah, 3-0 Libya. So Libya are... Yeah, they're there. They've qualified. They're there.
Well done to Libya then. They have qualified. A little scare, but they've made it through.
Togo need this.
They do. They do. A win for Malawi... I mean, it's unlikely to get a win for Malawi, but a win for Malawi puts Togo in massive problems. A Togo win puts them into 7th.
The already eliminated Malawi. It is a win for Togo. They'll take that. They'll move into 7th. Sierra Leone down into 8th now. And Sudan could really put a cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, a win for them puts them above Tanzania into 9th place, and it would be so close. It'd be 4 points separating 4th down to 10th.
It would mean that Kenya will not be safe as of yet.
No.
It is 4-1. This is very, very interesting here.
It's bubbling away quite nicely here, isn't it? So we've got our top 10 teams who have still got a chance of qualification. We have Zimbabwe and Estonia who are there. We have Libya actually can still get caught technically, but
yeah, they can still get dud. Yeah,
so they can still get caught for dud if things go horrifically wrong.
But Kenya to Tanzania, they're in that fight.
It's such a close little fight. So we've got one of these teams competing now. We have Mauritania in 5th place, looking pretty good actually at the moment. Mauritania, they're the form team as they take on the eliminated Central African Republic.
I'd say a win here, and Mauritania's pretty much there.
I think, yeah, pretty much.
That'll do it, I think, for Mauritania. What a comeback for them.
What a comeback. Congo, I'll tell you what, Congo are in trouble here.
Congo
because they've
and
got
Kenya,
to beat Kenya.
Only 1 point above them, Kenya, as well.
This is absolute drama here between these two.
A massive 6-pointer on the board here on the penultimate fixture. Kenya with the win, 4-2. They will move to 4th. That's bad for Congo.
Congo in real trouble. A top of the table clash, though, to decide the title between Zimbabwe and Estonia representing Comoros.
Yep, a Zimbabwe win will give them the title. An Estonia win puts everything on the final fixture, and a draw means that Zimbabwe will need to lose and Estonia will need to win their last fixture for the title to go to Comoros. Wow, we are going down to the wire.
I think the last game for Zimbabwe is the dud team as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's big for Tanzania.
That is huge for Tanzania. They're going to get 3 points to lift them into 7th place. 1 goal behind Congo as well.
Yeah, and that's also going to help out their current -4 goal difference as well, which again...
Oh.
He's here again! Morgan!
Go home! No one wants you here!
What are you doing? You're on holiday in Africa or something. He's on... I think he's just on holiday. He's doing some, he's doing like a business trip holiday thing.
Yeah, maybe he's just on, he's on his travels, isn't he? He's on his on his gap year.
The jet set referee, Darren Morgan.
Yeah.
A name so unassuming, but he owns a lot of stocks.
Stonks.
He owns a lot of stock.
So then,
he owns a lot of stock and a lot of stocks. He's a bit old-timey.
I see.
Yes. Sudan, next up. They are also very much still in it. Guinea-Bissau already eliminated here. I mean, Sudan. Imagine.
A win here for Sudan puts them into 6th place.
It
Because
puts
of their
them,
goal difference.
It puts them also level on points with Tanzania and Congo, who have...
With 1 game to go.
Yeah. We didn't
Crazy.
think Sudan would be anywhere near here.
No, we didn't. We thought they were long dead and buried,
Yeah.
but they're back.
They have been the hidden blade, the hidden assassins, and they are actually going to be in this fight.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you what, a draw between Togo and Libya and whoever Sierra Leone are playing, and suddenly this is like an all-timer.
Oh yeah, yeah. This may beat the American preliminary league from 2 years ago. Libya, they're safe now.
They are safe, yes.
They are safe now. Togo, 9th place. I wasn't expecting for them to be so low.
No, nor me. They've got to get a result here against Libya, I think.
Certainly do. It is a draw. Oh no!
I know. I can't believe it. Rwanda have got a chance to do the most funny thing.
Can Rwanda... I mean, Rwanda, if they win here, that means they will definitely not finish 15th.
No, they won't. They can't be caught.
Yeah, they'll do that. There's 12. There's 12 points for Rwanda.
Another win on the board for Rwanda.
Top 12, baby!
You can see them on the first page.
Yay! Sierra Leone.
And Niger.
Sierra Leone, I mean, they need something here, and if they get a draw, then bloody hell, what a final fixture we're going to have.
It's going to be crazy. Come on, Niger, do it for us.
2-1, Sierra Leone will move up into 6th place, but they are not safe whatsoever. Kenya, however, are safe.
They are. They have got a gap of 4 points over 8th place.
But
and they've got Central African Republic.
But from 5th to 10th is 2 points in it. A win or a draw could very well settle things here.
It really could. Kenya take on Central African Republic. A bit of a nothing fixture, really.
Yeah, this could certainly go down to goal difference here as well. Kenya, highest they can finish is 3rd. Lowest they can finish is, well, lowest they can finish technically is 6th, which is still good for qualification for them. 4-0, I mean, they'll take that, Kenya. They had a bit of a scare, but they've done enough.
Look at this then. So Congo in 9th, and there was how have they fallen so far? And they take on Mauritania, who aren't safe yet. They're close, but they're not safe yet.
A draw will mean they're safe.
It will, and I tell you, a 3-0 win for Congo. I tell you, it's just gonna be crazy. Let it happen.
Certainly could be on that one. 3-1. It was close, but Mauritania stay ahead of Congo.
By 2 goals. That's crucial for them.
Oh, Tanzania get Estonia, who are fighting for the title.
They need to win Estonia, because if they don't, then the dud team will be playing Zimbabwe. So this is absolutely everything for Estonia. A win here gives them the title.
Certainly does. It is 1-0. They've done enough. And Tanzania, they can technically still get the dud.
They can still get the dud. Despite losing, they can still get the dud.
Certainly do. Zimbabwe, they did well, but 2nd place will have to be enough for them. Estonia, so Comoros for the 2nd year. They have won the preliminary league.
Yeah, the previous 2 times that they've been in the preliminary league, they have won it. Of course, the last time they won the preliminary league, they won the African section as well. Can they repeat that this year? It'd be an amazing story if they could.
Will there be a hint of deja vu in the air?
Well, who knows? Who knows? We've only ever had it happen once, so who knows?
Who knows? Maybe they can do it for the second time. That'd be first one being them, second one being them. That'd be very interesting.
So, it's not over.
And with the dud team out of the way as well, who are all these teams facing?
Are they all playing each other? Well, Togo.
Ooh, Togo's got a decent fixture.
They've got Guinea-Bissau, who are not on the front page anymore. So a Togolese win will put them above Mauritania, so it will mean they're safe. A draw puts them 8th, and it will mean they could be, at best, dud team. So a win is required against Guinea-Bissau.
Certainly, that goal difference has worked well for them. It's not as high as some of them, but it's decent enough. Oh, that's bad for Togo. The best they can do is dud now.
Oh, Togo, have they fumbled it right at the end here? Well, maybe they could still be the dud team, because Sudan is the only team that can overtake them. And they have got Libya, who, okay, their form has absolutely dropped like a stone, but it's still a decent team.
Yeah, I mean, highest they can finish is 3rd, lowest they can finish is 4th. It's a bit of a nothing match here for Libya, but a draw will get them 3rd. Sudan, this is everything.
Need to win. They need to win this, don't they?
They certainly do. No, they don't. Sudan out. Togo will be the dud, which means Sierra Leone, Congo, Mauritania all qualify.
There you go. So Congo, despite the scare, do survive. Sierra Leone take on Malawi. And I believe our last match would be the Big R taking on Niger.
Certainly would. Rwanda could finish 11th.
Who would have thought?
Imagine that. It is a win for Sierra Leone. They will finish in a respectable 5th, but bit of a scare along the way for Sierra Leone there.
Yep, they dropped out of that top 8 right at the end, didn't they? But they managed to recover. Niger and Rwanda in the most nothing of nothing matches to finish off the African section.
No,
who's going to win?
This is important for Rwanda to finish 11th.
Can they finish above the Central African Republic?
No!
No!
No! Malawi finished bottom.
Oh my word. Oh my word. Okay, one positive from all this. Every team beat someone that wasn't the dud team.
True. They all did. And no team went unbeaten either.
No team did.
Okay, so we get to our, well, these teams here. 15th place with 7. Malawi. How did that happen?
Yeah, Malawi, of course, had that massive 9-0 loss, didn't they? And they just never recovered from there, did they?
Yeah, it just progressively just got worse and worse from there for Malawi. In 14th place with 8, Niger. This is more expected. I expected this.
Yeah, and they were going to finish in 15th, but that final result there at the bottom of your screen meant that they lifted themselves up to a 14th place finish.
Yeah, no wooden spoon for Niger. 13th, I'm surprised about this. Guinea-Bissau with 11. They usually do a lot better than that.
They do. They're only kind of on the peripheries of qualifications. Yep. So, yeah, there you go. That's a poor result for them.
So to finish 13 points behind 8th.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's a bad result for Guinea-Bissau this season. Next up, 12th place, the Big R with 12.
Yeah, good. I think that's a respectable run to 12th place. I think they'll be disappointed not to have finished 11th, considering who they had in their final game. But yeah, Rwanda are back.
Oh, sorry. I should have done the Chinese Taipei thing. 12th place with a score of
12.
12 is Rwanda. Yeah, 11th place with a score of 12 is Central African Republic.
I don't think they'll be that happy with that Central African Republic, but you know what? They finished the best of the B teams down towards the bottom.
I mean, I think they had a bit of a chance, sort of like in the sort of the mid-season, but yeah, it then just fell off a cliff afterwards.
Yep.
10th with 23. Now we get to the teams that actually had a chance. Tanzania, such a shame for them. They had such a good resurgence, but just fell off at the end.
Yeah, they left it a bit too late, didn't they? They started poorly and they recovered fairly well, but not as well as some other teams who we're going to get to a bit later on.
9th place, out of nowhere, they got into contention, but just petered out at the end. It's Sudan with 23.
Yep, same record as Tanzania. Better goal difference as well. They had superior goal difference, by the way, to Togo, Congo, and Mauritania, and Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
So hard luck to them. You know, they did all right, but not well enough. Too many defeats, not enough points racked up.
This next team is going to be kicking themselves for that draw in the final fixture.
Yeah.
8th with 24. 2020 Global Trophy finalists Togo, our dud team.
Yeah, how the mighty have fallen, I suppose, as you could say. Togo, I think they've been former African semi-finalists in the past. Yeah, not happy with that one. They will be ruining that mistake right at the end. They would have, if they had have won, they would have finished in 6th place and would be competing in 4 weeks' time, but they're not. That's that then for Togo. Shame for them.
Yep, certainly would, and that would have bumped this team down to 8th, but instead it was a scare, but they survived. They were 4th for so long, but in 7th place with a score of 26. It's Congo.
Yeah, they'll get to compete with their Democratic Republic brothers and sisters in the African section in a few weeks' time. They'll be happy with their result. They did slip off towards them, but they accrued so many points early on, they were able to just survive.
Next up, 6th place with 26. The big resurgence here in this tournament, I'd say. Mauritania. What a run from them.
Yeah, they were nowhere, and then they were just suddenly there and just bullied their way into the top 8, and they finished 6th in the end. Not a bad run.
Very respectable performance there for Mauritania. 5th place, 28. Again, had a bit of a scare, but they were able to survive through until the end. It's Sierra Leone with 28.
Yep, Sierra Leone, happy days for them. They will be... Again, they dropped out of that top 8 briefly, but they recovered well. They got a couple of results right at the end, and that meant they were happily through.
And then another team that had a bit of a scare, but they were able to steady the ship. It's with 30 points. In 4th place is Kenya.
Yeah, they were in trouble for a little bit, weren't they, Kenya? You thought surely not going to be a mighty upset, but nope, they recovered well. 4th place, probably a bit lower than they were hoping, but they'll take it.
I'd have certainly said top 3 for Kenya, because in that 3rd place, they were a team that they were chasing for the title for a while, but they did their form did certainly slip up in the last sort of 5 or 6 fixtures. It's Libya with 32, but they're still through. Big Green.
Yep, they won their first 8 games, and so the first half of the season they won 8 out of 8. In the second half of the season they won 2, drew 2, lost 3.
Well,
food for thought for Libya.
Certainly is, but at least first half of the season, they certainly did a lot better when it comes to that. 2nd place with 40 points, Zimbabwe.
Yeah, missing out right at the end, losing, of course, in the penultimate game week to give Estonia an opportunity. Of course, they had the dud for the final game, so they thought they had it all wrapped up. They hadn't, and cost them the title.
Yeah, and the winners on goal difference with 40 points. It is Estonia representing Comoros, their 2nd win here at the Preliminary League.
Yep, of course, they won the Preliminary League stage in 2022 with Lithuania. Comoros this time with Estonia taking home the Preliminary League title for the 2nd time.
So, we've got our next 8 teams to join. The rest of the teams that we've got in Africa, our other 24. It's gonna be a very interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting qualifier, I think, in Africa. Obviously, in Africa we have our new first-time ever African champions, of course, the Ivory Coast, who beat Nigeria last year in the finals, and now we have these 8 teams. And I'm going to be interested to see how Mauritania gets on, and Libya in the African qualifiers.
No, I agree. And Africa's quite an interesting bracket at the moment. For years, and I mean, until we went onto YouTube, and even after we went onto YouTube, until 2018, right? There were only ever 3 winners of the African section, right? So Senegal, Nigeria, and Cameroon, the only ones who won in Africa for 13 years.
Yeah.
In the past 6 African sections, there have been 6 different winners.
Yeah.
And none of those have been Cameroon.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about that, how competitive Africa has suddenly become.
Certainly could have on that, and well, could we see a 7th in this tournament?
I hope so. We like a bit of variety, as much as we like, the big teams going through, as we always do, but we enjoy the bit of variety.
Well, as always, the African section, would you just say is the 3rd best section. You know, I think it's better than the Asian section, but not as good as the Americas and the European section. But our reigning champions of the African section, the Ivory Coast, certainly going to have their work cut out for them in their first title defense.
Let's see how they get on.
Certainly see how they'll get on in 4 weeks' time. But next week, of course, we will have our final preliminary league. To a lot of people, the most exciting of the preliminary leagues. It will be the American Preliminary League, or I guess what it's known, I guess what we should really just call it, the Central American Preliminary League, because the North and South American teams just immediately qualify.
They sure do. It's basically all the Caribbean teams, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, it certainly is on that, and it always turns out to be an amazing, amazing run. Obviously, 2 years ago, we had one of the closest Preliminary League final days we've ever had in the Global Trophy. Last year, we just needed, I think one of the teams just needed a result that they should have won, and they didn't, and that allowed Cuba to qualify last year. So there's always something happening in the American Preliminary League. It's, personally, in my opinion, my favourite out of the 4 preliminary leagues that we do. And next week, we will have that, and that will end off the preliminary leagues here at the 2025 Global Trophy. We're about to get into our 4th and final preliminary league. I'm Masterath.
I've been Sven-Göran,
and we'll see you next week for the final preliminary league of the tournament, the American Preliminary League. We'll see you then.